welcome to the teams for doing the Innovative Youth Corn Challenge tonight. My name is Brandy Vanderwall, Extension Educator covering Fillmore and Clay counties with 4-H Youth Development. And I'll let Aaron introduce himself.
Aaron Nygren, so Extension Educator in Saunders County, cover crops and water for Saunders, Douglas, and Sarpy counties.
So we will just go over a little bit about the introduction, the teams that we have. I was going to kind of do an icebreaker, but there's such a small amount of teams, we'll see. We might pivot that a little bit later. Go over the logistics, the resources that we have, including some new exciting resources, hopefully. Discover or think about the possibility of a summer workshop, and then, of course, encourage you all to come to the banquet. So this essentially is the team. Amy and Lauren has, geez, I didn't even put her last name. She got married, and I said I thought I was going to come back and look for her married name, and I forgot. But Lauren does essentially helps us a little bit with like the ag literacy pieces, and Amy is also in cropping systems. But Aaron and I are really kind of the two that are your main point of contact. So we have the three teams this year, Washington, York, and Saline counties. So even though we're small, I know you all participated last year, and so have lots of quality, which is great. So I think I'm going to just send out this little Menti that I had via email later on, or maybe I'll put it into a survey form, but essentially it was just asking for some feedback on how things went last year, other ways we can improve, and then there were just kind of some fun trivia questions and stuff in there, but we'll just bypass that. So kind of looking a little bit about where we've been. So looking at the numbers, this is the 12th year since we have had the program. So within those 12 years, we've had 97 teams that like signed up for the program and, you know, participated in some way. But 47 teams actually were able to complete the whole project. We always have youth that for whatever reasons, weather or data failures or, you know, all kinds of different reasons are not able to finish. But within that, there's been 268 youth that have participated. And looking at the youth that participate, you know, this is one of those programs that's not, you know, it's for the diehards. It's not just a 1 hour and you're done. So we certainly appreciate all of the time and effort that you all put into this. Looking at a little bit about the data from last year, it was encouraging to know that overwhelming majority, or 86% of all the participants essentially felt they improved knowledge of accurately identifying pests, understanding crop scouting procedures, how to set up on-farm research plots, which, you know, there's some producers that aren't even familiar with that. And importantly, you know, how to determine practices implemented in the field, if they're profitable, and then just evaluating new products or practices. One of the other goals of the program when we first started this program, which is sponsored by the Nebraska Corn Board, they have been very gracious at sponsoring this since its inception in 2012. But 86% of youth learned about a new career. That's kind of why Aaron and I started this, you know, just needing more agronomists and people involved in agriculture. And then just a quote there from a youth, just essentially saying, you know, they're sixth generation farming. You know, farming is important to the economy, and they're just understanding that experimenting with new technology and innovative practices will be productive for future generations to come. So I try to kind of simplify this by thinking about this project as a way of kind of like three kind of main parts. So the first part essentially is having the team plan what product they're going to test, what practice, what kind of innovative things even in hearing, you know, looking at some of the things maybe that the Nebraska On-Farm Research Network is doing or other things you see or curious about in publications. And so then we want you to have that project proposal due to us by June 15th. Essentially just making sure, you know, you're kind of at a checkpoint, making sure you're doing what you need, and I kind of, you know, check in with you all. And all these resources are on our Crop Watch UNL webpage. So then secondly, is where we sometimes, lose some of our participants, but it's just to implement your project, take lots of pictures, gather some scouting data. We have it's like some examples, scouting data sheets, or if there's a different format you want, just get out there. And this is where, the learning occurs. So, record any videos of you doing the work or those types of things. Last year, so all three of teams should have a drone. So go ahead and use that, experiment with that. So then, of course, at the end, when everything is harvested, make sure you harvest them separately so we don't lose the data. Get the harvest report form to us. We shoot for December 15th, but we're pretty flexible about that. It just definitely before Christmas time, so we can go through all of those pieces there. And the other piece is to complete an ag literacy project. And some of the resources we're going to give you will hopefully help you within that project. And I guess the fourth part really is to celebrate your success. So we know you're all busy with sports and other school activities, but we really encourage you to come to the banquet, kind of celebrate, learn from what the other teams did, and get the recognition you deserve. So Aaron, I'm going to go ahead and I'll turn it over to you.
So once again, with teams that have already competed before, this isn't really new stuff, right? But you can do a couple different ways. This would be our basic, simplest plot, right? It'd just be you do two different parts in the field, comparing a normal compared to some other treatment that you want to look at. So each of those we need a 1 acre minimum. So a lot of times any more with the size of planters, bigger fields, if you do a 16-row pass full length on a normal field, you might already have your 1 acre minimum there. So it just depending on how big your equipment is, that'd be our minimum. With that, then you get the minimum amount of points, right? We give you that base point with that. If you want to go to the next one, then Brandy, then what we'd really ideally like to see with on farm though is doing some kind of comparison. So and with that, we like to do replications and randomization. So this would be a standard paired comparison. When it comes down to a lot of years, these bonus points for doing the replications, a lot of times that might be the deciding factor at the end of the year. That we give 5 points bonus for every replication up to like 3 extra. So a little bit extra helps, right? So this would be 7 comparisons. The nice thing with that, with on-farm, things happen on the farm, right? Sprayer happens, mishap happens, you forget to harvest something, forget to record something. So by having more than just 3 replications, that really helps us out. So this, thing with this, it matches up well with certain sizes of equipment. If you plant 16 and harvest 8, or plant 24 and harvest 12, these paired comparisons work really well to look at different treatments. So if this is something you want to look at, we can help you set these up. We have lots of examples on the on-farm research website as well. And then this would be our kind of the fanciest one. So this would be actually this again is a paired comparison design here. So we could also do three or 4 different treatments. So those would be truly randomized usually then. We have had teams do that, right? We've had 3 or 4 different treatments. The bonus points, they'll come in whenever you do those randomized and replicated versus just 1 acre of each. So those really do help you out. So we have a variety of protocols that are available on the on-farm research website. So those are found on the cropwatch.unl.edu/farm research. Lots of different things on there. So another thing that gives you some bonus points throughout the year that we like to see, with the final report is you out there scouting. So it's nice to see what you saw, right? During the growing season, there's a lot of things that pop up in fields. Sometimes it's unusual stuff. Sometimes it's just normal things, but it's nice to see pictures of the kids doing that. So any differences, sometimes we've had teams dig plants, show the root differences, things like that. Identify the pests, record what you did. Hopefully you're learning, right? We're always learning. And then the last thing, always have fun, right? A lot of times we see pictures, it's easy to tell that the kids are having fun out there. So that's always fun to see. And then the after harvest, this is probably one of the things that is definitely tedious a little bit, right? Is filling out some of that paperwork. Don't worry, we struggled getting this paperwork with farmers that do on-farm research as well, to get them to fill out the production information. But we like to see that harvest report, the production records, that ag literacy piece. Some of you have put together some amazing videos, better than probably Brand or I could do ourselves. And then attend the banquet, which usually we have that in January. We've kind of bounced back and forth of what is the best day of the week, and I don't think there is one, right? So everybody's always got something going on. But we like to get you on East Campus, at least show the kids, what's available there for agronomy and other degrees at UNL. So then there are a lot of research resources on Crop Watch. So that's this time of year that comes out every week. Hopefully highlighting some things that are going on. The other thing that's on there is weather data. So there are finally, I think, should have updated ET information. Last year it was we had some issues with it. So they got that revised. Saw the draft the other day. It looks to be pretty good. So, if you have an irrigated field, that's always nice to see, right? What kind of ET do we have? And then since this one's focused on corn, right, there is a lot of corn production and best information on there as well.
And I'm just going to emphasize, so if you forget where our information is, we're under the youth. So if you go to related topics, that's essentially where all the youth information is for the Corn Challenge. And so I kind of did a screenshot here, just kind of again, so you could kind of see it separates it out by the crops and, diseases and all of that. And then again, where we are at here with youth and youth activities. So just to let you all know that. Erin kind of mentioned on farmresearch.unl.edu. So feel free to check that out as a resource. Oops, I put 2 slides in there. Oh, I'm going back. Okay. So here we go. So these are the exciting new tools that we're going to provide you for this year. So in the past, we've had some paper resources and things like that. And last year we did the drone. And so one of the projects that I am working on is actually using 360 cameras. I know Arlington, I think already did with a GoPro on their video and stuff. But so what I essentially have, this is how small it is. It's a nice that's like nice flat little piece. It has a nice case. So you slide it in here and put it in your back pocket when you're going in the field and stuff. So you can take some really good 360 shots of your field. The biggest thing that I've learned is definitely need a tripod to put on there. Otherwise, it doesn't matter where you are or standing in the field. Essentially, you'll be seen. I've tried to do it on my head, and you see my scalp, and so I'll try to hide in my car or whatever. But and then along with that, rather than just giving you stuff and, hope that you guys are smart, you're techie, you'll figure it out, but maybe trying to provide a quick little Zoom or webinar with kind of how to use those tools. So, these are about, I think, $360 or so. So that's just a good tech tool that you can use. You can do recordings. I just recorded a robotic dairy on them as well. So they're a pretty decent video quality. And then I was starting to think we have our garden here at the extension office, and one of the things I've done before, Justin McMeekin actually kind of got me hooked up with these, but there's a Brino time-elapsed camera. So this is the setting that you would have. It has a nice weather protective case on there. And then I'll give you the little mount. So if you want to put it on like a fence post or something and actually watch your corn grow throughout the season, some of yours might already be coming up, but we'll still have enough time. And I can kind of go through the settings and stuff that you need. I did capture a whole garden season anyway with using one battery, and just thought that might be some other cool options for you just to kind of see and observe what's going on in there. So those are some new things I think will help you all with the ag literacy video, in addition to the drone videos that you had, or the drones that you had last year. And then we've given you this in the past in the middle here. It's just one of those little microscopic kind of cameras, or for you to look at with your, put on your cell phone and stuff like that. So give you some techie tools to hopefully allow you to implement that. So I'm going to go through these rather quickly, because 2 out of the 3 of you all were able to essentially achieve this goal. But we all know that a lot of people do not know a lot about agriculture. And so the cool thing about you all as youth doing these videos is that you're able to relate to other peers, and they might realize, hey, someone like my age is doing this, and have maybe a little bit more appreciation for agriculture. So these are just some ag lit examples. So we've always had everyone do videos, but I want to emphasize it does not have to be a video. These are just some examples. So one of them, social media. So I mean, even those of you that do videos, you could, because we have our Innovative Youth Corn Challenge Facebook page, you could post some like pictures of, like your 360, corn field growing, or you could download some time-elapsed videos and essentially kind of work on doing some of those pieces. Or kind of what you see on the bottom is just getting people to know, like, maybe what it was that you did with your particular project, or why corn is important, and maybe again just sharing some of those pieces and pictures that you catch. These are some examples. So these are like the video examples. You all essentially did those. And of course, since the Nebraska Corn Board is our sponsor, I would encourage you to take a look at their website. They've got some really good information on there as well. So this is essentially the Ag Literacy Award. So just looking at like the clear relationship or connection to society. So we're all in agriculture, so it's really easy for us to say, well, of course, agriculture is important, and these types of things, but really helping society, or somebody maybe in an urban area, understand the importance of agriculture. Of course, looking at the originality. So again, you could do infographic video. You could even do presentations to like a local Rotary or Kiwanis Club, and just capture all of the information and stuff. And again, we want it to be high quality, timely, current, research informed, like what's like the life of the product. So is it something that's just very seasonal, like it's just going to work for this year, or is it going to, span across several seasons or even longer? Of course, spelling and grammar are always important. And so the pieces on the bottom that we really haven't, although now I'm sure some of your YouTube videos have reached a lot of people. But at the time, if you reach an audience over 20 people or 50 people, there's some bonus points attached. So just some tips and tricks, always cite your sources, making sure you're using reliable sources. Think first of all, who's your audience you're trying to reach? So like, what is the whole purpose or objective? If you do some type of, so I actually did this presentation in Canva. It's something I just really kind of like. If you like to do things with different types of infographics and stuff like that, there's tons of things there that can make your work look kind of sharp. You could lead a summer workshop, have a booth at the county fair talking about your project. Again, lots of different things. Have a tip to do landscape images. They usually take better pictures. And then, if you do videos and audio, either, make sure you have a video editor so you can edit out any distracting noise. And then make sure the camera is still, or you're not too shaky with it. So these are things to avoid. These are really busy. It's kind of overwhelming trying to think about what, what do I really want? What do I look at? And if you're somebody from maybe an urban area, thinking, okay, there's this many acres on a farm, like, so what? Like, how does that relate to me? So again, sometimes a simplistic message and just really sharing your story is better. These are some other examples like Lauren had on there. So try to avoid like controversial things. Like GMO, just you can explain the benefits and stuff why we use them, but not having a whole slogan like that type of piece. And then, the bottom one saying agriculture, that's not really saying a whole lot other than those pictures there. And then and ag literacy, the corn yields would be interesting for farmers and people like that, but for an average consumer, they might kind of wonder like, well, what does that even mean? What they might not even know what a bushel or an acre is. So resources that we have, again, I encourage you to go to our Facebook page, post some of your pictures, your updates throughout the season. And then again, the forms and everything is really, if you just type in cropwatch.unl.edu/youth corn challenge, you'll be able to find that. This got a little pixelated here, but again, we have our banquet. Erin had talked about that before. Usually have a great meal. I've never been disappointed with the food that we've had at the Union yet. So, we try to, if we can find a innovative speaker or someone, we'll try to choose kind of a fun activity there. Kind of another piece that ties in really well with this is a crop scouting competition. So I think we've had some of you compete in this before, but it's essentially teams of 3 to 5 youth that have a chance. I mean, if you've been putting in all the work, going out and scouting your plot, you just as well come and participate in this crop scouting competition. This is I think the 11th year, just posted this information. Held at NREC there in Aaron's backyard, essentially. And you will have some different plots, and you'll have like a little scenario or have to find a disease or looking at something that might be going on in the field, and you become essentially the crop scout and share that information with the judges, who are usually our extension educators and other faculty there. So really encourage you there. There are cash prizes awarded. So first place is $500. Second place is, I think, 300 or 250, and then down to $100. And then the top 2 teams have a chance to participate in like a regional setting. So this year, the top 2 teams will have the opportunity to go to Minnesota in September. So just another cool way to kind of complement what you're already learning. So we did go through this rather quickly, but with you all being kind of pros with the team, here's our contact information. So, just feel free to contact us at any time. And that's essentially what I have. So are there any questions, or Erin, anything else that I forgot?
Yeah, think of anything else.